You thought Caracalla was evil in Gladiator II? Well, let me tell you, he was 1,000 times worse in real life. For example, this was the brotherly love shown when their father, Emperor Septimius Severus, died while they were on campaign in modern-day Scotland. Caracalla seized control and immediately started to murder everyone in the court. He killed the physicians who had refused to obey his orders to hasten the old man's death. He also murdered those men who had reared his brother and himself because they persisted in urging him to live at peace with Geta. Back in Rome, the brothers took up opposite wings in the imperial palace, which they divided with barricades. This was obviously not a good way to rule the largest empire on earth, so their mother, Julia Donna, tried to broker peace between them, so she invited them to meet together, unarmed. Unfortunately, during the meeting, a gang of Caracalla's men burst in and attacked Geta. Julia tried to protect her youngest son, but he was stabbed to death right in front of her. He would then start one of the largest purges in Roman history. Thousands of innocent Romans died. And if that wasn't enough, Caracalla decided to take his killing spree on a world tour. He first travelled north to put down some rebellious Germans. He then went east and ordered every city he passed to build great buildings in his honour, out of their own pockets of course. He famously would also topple buildings if they weren't up to his taste. He also famously didn't eat seafood unless he was very far inland, when it became prohibitively expensive, and then of course it would become his favourite thing. And perhaps for his worst crime thus far, when he arrived in Alexandria, they put on a parody play about how the emperor, well, came into power and became the sole emperor. Probably not the wisest thing to do perhaps, but I personally think his punishment went a bit too far, for he decided to slaughter 20,000 mostly innocent Alexandrians. Caracalla said it was justified because, well, the whole city was guilty. And now, having angered and murdered his own people, he decided to take his terror to the Parthians, who ruled Persia at this time. At first, he lovingly suggested that the long feuding empires should have peace and decided to marry the Parthian king's daughter. But when the two families met up for the wedding, Caracalla decided, of course, to order his soldiers to slaughter the entire Parthian wedding party and burn everything, including the Parthian city, to the ground. Almost everyone died except for the king. And ladies and gentlemen, this was only the start.